Hi there, I'm Lily Corbally Johnson, coach to entrepreneurs, and thanks for joining my YouTube channel, Life Tools by Lily. This will be the last of a series of financial literacy videos I'm bringing to you because I have some news or information that will help you to kick butt by the end of this month, which is next week. I have been going through a journey of 4 weeks worth of information that I have learned from the Financial Fitness book, which is an amazing entrepreneurial book written by two ex-General Motors systems engineers, Orrin Woodward and Chris Brady, who have, for the past 20 plus years, been interviewing families as well as diving into their own family issues to make life better for everybody. My husband Norm and I have been studying financial literacy for 6 years now, and have uncovered some incredible myths as well as traps and tips, you name it, we've been finding them. I'm nowhere near yet where I want to be, but wow, I'm much better off than I used to be, say with my husband. My whole point of this video is for you to know more about how to make life easier for yourselves. More to the point, this YouTube channel is to help you get more out of your life. I help entrepreneurs to get their side hustles strong enough to be able to leave their full-time jobs if that's what they're meant to do. Because let's face it, you're not going to have financial security just staying at your day job. Not anymore, if you ever could. I'm going to be discussing an acronym today that I made up called M.O.R.E, M-O-R-E. 15 minutes of more will put you in a better mood daily, which will improve your financial situation. Because if there's one thing I've learned from studying financial literacy, it's that our emotions impact our financial well-being. Most of the time we don't make our decisions about money in a rational way. It's more about emotions. M.O.R.E stands for meditate, organize, read, and excel at communicating with people. I put it together to make it easier to remember, and because it dawned on me that there are 4 things that I have been implementing on a daily basis over the past 6 years, not necessarily in the M.O.R.E order, and not to perfection, but increasingly better. Both Norm and I have, and that's what has helped us to leave our full-time jobs and create our own schedules with a medley of income-producing activities. It's not all about money, but money is the tool to help us get what we want, right? And I do encourage you to subscribe and try out the tools I'm talking about. I do coach on the tools because sometimes they're easier to use with help when someone is helping you track your progress as well as show how it applies to your everyday life. I coach with this tool as well as a subscription called Power Sales University. Actually, the tool is called Total Personal Development and includes Power Sales University. But back to the acronym M.O.R.E. When I say meditate, the M in the acronym M.O.R.E, I am talking about the meditation I do, which is called Ascension. Sounds like you're going to heaven, but it's nothing to do with religion. It's so important to meditate 15 minutes a day, minimum. What I actually do is 4 times a day. Well, 3 times a day. I do it 20 minutes at a time. But for the sake of today's topic, let's say 15 minutes. Start somewhere. Why is meditation so important? Because it calms your mind, calms your thoughts. It's like, you know how they say broccoli is really good for your digestion to clear you out? Meditation is to clear your mind out. It's to improve your health. That was one huge factor in helping liberate us from our jobs, that we meditate daily. I don't have time, you say. You find time. In fact, meditating helps you create more time because you're more effective with the time that you have. And it makes you so peaceful. If you have trouble meditating, get a teacher. I have some I would suggest. Just contact me. At the bottom of the page, I put my contact information. I never thought I could be able to meditate. I thought, I have ADHD. I don't have time to sit and close my eyes. Who said anything about sitting and closing your eyes? There are many different ways to meditate, and the type that I do is ascending. my point is simply to realize how important it is to meditate, to find answers, to get amazing epiphanies. Epiphanies being solutions, aha moments. It's so powerful. It's like taking a nap in the middle of the day without that drug feeling you have when you wake up. That's what used to happen to me. I would take a 15-minute nap, not meditate, just a 15-minute nap, and wake up feeling worse than when I had actually gone to sleep. That was meditation. You feel refreshed. And when you feel refreshed, you make better financial decisions, don't you? The other part of this M.O.R.E acronym is organize. I remember reading, I think it was from Brian Tracy from Eat That Frog. I think it was, yeah. It was amazing. You know how funny it is that it can be really hard to sit for 15 minutes and collect your thoughts first thing in the morning. And yet it's been a huge impact in my life. I put the timer on because then it's a reward once it buzzes. I know 15 minutes is up. 15 minutes are up. What I do is I write down what my key points are that I need to cover for the day, what tasks I have, and then even, let's see here, I mapped it out for you here. For example, I have connect with international friends, and then I say how I need to do that. See, connect with international friends, maybe find their Facebook page, send them a message. That's just one way to connect, and I highly encourage connecting on Zoom or something more human than just a message. But it's a start. The other one is reach out to business owners. Since I am an entrepreneur, there are business owners I'm friends with. Call them and then follow up with an email, especially if I'm reaching out to them to invite them to a new concept to look at or to give them publicity, which I've been doing a lot of lately for BNI, Business Network International. The main point is I'm organizing my thoughts, and since I do have international businesses, what I need to figure out at the beginning of the day is who internationally to reach out to, because there's a time lag. But not just internationally. I'm thinking, I remember learning in international sales, I was in medical device manufacturing. I remember being taught the concept that your actions impact other people, and sometimes there is a time lag with their responses. So let's say you need to set up appointments and you need to get answers from other people. Since that won't happen right away necessarily, you do some parts of these actions first thing in the morning to give time for that time lapse. Let's say you need to reach out to a friend about planning a party. Well, if you'd like to have the answer by 5 p.m., chances are you will not reach out to them at 4:35 p.m. You want to reach out to them, give them time to respond. Do it first thing in the morning. Give the other person time to respond. So think of the activities you have that require other people's responses. I love that saying, a failure to plan ahead on your part does not constitute an emergency on my part. Keeps me humble. Keeps me remembering what actions do I have today that impact others, or what are my resources? If people are my resources, what do I need to do first in order to have the response by the time I need to get it? Make sense? The other part of organizing, in my case, is there's a lot of clutter. I tend to write a lot of papers, or shall we say, notes on different papers, and I realized, oh my gosh, the dining room table is full of papers. Well, a great ADHD trick is to get a brown paper bag and put all your papers into the bag. Now this could hold for anything else. What I mean is, let's say you've got clutter in the bedroom, in the bathroom, wherever it is. Doesn't have to be papers. You put the clutter into a bag, bucket, but it doesn't matter what the holding container is. Point is, you suddenly have a clean space, a clear space to be around. Mentally, that puts you instantly in a better mood. Plus, it's one less decision to have to make, in the sense that you're not looking at a whole lot of decisions to make when you put it all in one bag. You take one out at a time, and that's one decision at a time. You set the timer for 15 minutes. You take out a piece of paper, let's say it's a paper clutter. You say, okay, what do I need to do with this piece of paper? Then you take care of that piece of paper. Or what do I need to do with this plant? Okay, I need to bring it outside. So one thing at a time. Doesn't mean you finish all the clutter, but you put a dent in it, which will make you feel better about yourself, which will put you in a better mood, which trickles out after everything else you do. So that's one of my organizing hacks. Now, third letter in the acronym M.O.R.E, M-O-R-E, is R, reading. I'm still advocating for this book, among other things that I read. 15 minutes a day gets you through a book in a month. Financial Fitness is the book that I've been advocating since it is Financial Literacy Month in April, and it's April still. This one says, how to build your income, get out of debt, and prosper in any economy. Do you by chance know, for example, how many times more a house that you buy should cost than your annual salary? How many times more your house should be worth than your annual salary? This book will tell you the answer. Or why is gold so important? Crack open this book. Order it from me, order it from Amazon, doesn't matter, but get it. It's important to highlight it. But the other books I'm talking about that are extremely important to read are people skills books. Because people influence people's success, and success isn't necessarily monetary, it's relational. The most successful people in life happens to be the ones who also are the wealthiest. The ones who are able to give the most have the best people skills. Now, if you're saying to me, oh, I have great people skills, people love me, then you need them even more because you could use some humility. I know I need to keep reading. There's 5 books that I often mention. Contact me to hear about the 5, but I'll mention them here now. How to Win Friends and Influence People, How to Have Confidence and Power in Dealing with People, Personality Plus, The Magic of Thinking Big, and, oh my gosh, I forgot the 5th one, How I Raise Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. The names sound terrible, don't they? Not like something you'd want to be caught reading in a coffee shop. Although, ironically, right now we're in COVID-19 and we're in isolation, so you don't really have to worry about what people think about your books. But seriously, they're at least good conversation starters. As far as the titles, they're scary. But they're excellent books. And the overall writing principle that I've learned from those books, which I'm due for a reread on, is that making other people feel more important is the key to success. Genuinely helping them to see how important they are. So many people, we're talking 70% of the people are worried about what other people are thinking about them. When I read that, I thought, what are we worrying about then? Imagine if we just focused on what other people said, enjoyed their presence, and not worried about what are they thinking about me. Because they're not. They're worried about what you're thinking about them. But the ones who are the most successful take the focus off of themselves and focus on others. Not to correct them, criticize them, or critique them, but to appreciate them, accept, and approve of them. I work on that on a daily basis, trust me. But the minute you let people know that they are important, you've hit a home run. There's so many ways to let people know that they're important. Volumes of books are written on it. But one thing I've taken out of those 15 minutes a day that I read about people skills books, it changes your mood. It elevates your mood when you're good with people and when you're around happy people. And when people elevate you. And that translates to better finances because people want to relate with you. And you make better decisions when you're happier, when you're not anxious. I'm astounded by being around people who are excellent around others because guess what? They're the ones who bring out the best in others. One of my favorite books actually is Bringing Out the Best in People. Those who are dying to promote others, those who are dying to discuss how great others are, taking the focus off themselves, it just amazes me. Life leadership has really helped me with that, and I have never met so many people in my life besides that program where so many people make a habit of reading. And I can tell those who read people skills books on a regular basis. I would recommend reading them every 6 months, rereading them. I'm working on that. I'm again reading How to Win Friends and Influence People. I can't emphasize this part of the M.O.R.E acronym enough. If you do nothing else, read those books because they will give you peace of mind. And they will also mention the other points in the acronym about meditating, about getting organized. Because when you've got those in place, you're able to give more to people, even when it's virtually. Now the E part is excelling. The E part of the M.O.R.E acronym is excelling at communication. Ironically, since I just spent many minutes talking about reading books. Well, we're not in a bubble. As much as even if you're an introvert and you don't like dealing with people as much because you get more energy from yourself, we all deal with people to have a good life. So excel at communicating, whether it is virtually or in person. 15 minutes of reaching out to people daily. That's what I'm working on right now with the social isolation, because I need people. I'm an extrovert, although I feel like I've become more introverted the past month and a half by necessity. But reach out to people on a daily basis for 15 minutes. That's what I'm trying to do, because I do care. And as much as it's exhausting to use technology to do Zoom or to text and it seems impersonal, it's a start. Or pick up the phone, even if you're leaving a message. People can listen back to that message and it will uplift their day. One tip with excelling at communicating is to smile when you're answering the phone, or smile when you leave a message. Because who wants to talk with someone who always seems serious? Sounds grumpy. You can make people feel awesome just by reaching out to them. And once again, I'm not saying I'm perfect or excellent at any of these, but I work on them on a daily basis, which is why I got into coaching, to keep me on the straight and narrow. Thanks for listening. Keep in mind, 15 minutes a day of any of those that I mentioned for the M.O.R.E acronym, M-O-R-E. Meditation, organization, reading, and excelling at communication. Reach out to me and let me know what other information you need. Si lo necesita en español, le podría ayudar también. Gusto nam sepan hoihalga tatok. Thanks for listening. Vielen Dank. We'll talk with you soon. And thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel. Keep in mind, one last thing. If you would like to make this last week the best financial week you have had in ages, pick up this book or order it from me. I'll put the link below, or just order it on Amazon, but let me know how it goes. Because do you know that half the population does not have $500 in savings? And I'm talking pre-COVID-19. If you'd like to have $500 in savings, at least, crack open the book and go through the first few chapters. That's what happened to me. I reversed my financial situation. I got at least $300 extra out of it, the first 3 chapters. And in fact, my husband and I were able to pay for a car in cash, a 2014 Nissan in cash, because of this book. It's a beautiful car, and our relationships have gotten better. It's unbelievable what you can do by reading this book. At least contact me about it, okay? Thanks for listening, and have a fabulous end of April.